It's a chilly afternoon at PNC Park, but no matter the weather, it's always a great day for a field trip to see the Pirates play. Jeff Locke pitch as the Bucks and the Chicago Cubs wrap up a 4-game series. Hi again, everybody, with Steve Blass. I'm Tim Nevitt. Robbie Smokowski will join us shortly. The Pirates looking for a split of this 4-gamer today. They'll turn to Jeff Locke, who is 2-0. He's beat the Brewers twice. Now he gets a shot today at the Cubs.
Well, Jeff Locke is a pitcher. He's not a power guy. He's got 3 basic pitches: fastball, curve, changeup, and he's been throwing them for strikes. That really is the key. He uses both sides of the plate, and he loves to get inside on the right-handers, show him something outside, and that's how he has been dealing. And he's been very, very effective. He's out in front in the count, and he's throwing all 3 pitches for strikes.
Jeff Locke hopes to throw a lot of strikes. Pirates will be without Starling Marte today. As we take a look at our Allegheny Health Network injury update last night, Jason Hamill getting him on the right hand. X-rays negative, no break, but not in the lineup today.
He's got to learn how to get away from those pitches. I mean, he's got to bail out. He's holding his ground a little too long, and that's got to change if he wants to stay healthy.
The outfield will look a little different today. No McCutchen either, a scheduled day off for him. The Pirates determined to get a series split with the Cubs on getaway day, wrapping up a 10-game homestand. First pitch coming up.
Is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. By Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks.
It is Take Your Kid to Work Day, and those are some of the children of our Root Sports employees who are here today at the ballpark. A little chilly, blanket and jacket weather this afternoon. Temperatures in the low 40s right now as the Pirates and Cubs get set to wrap up this 4-game series. Jordy Mercer back out there. He missed the last 3 games. And the Pirates wearing their camo military appreciation uniforms today. The Honda starting lineup for Chicago. Leading off, Chris Denorfia. Anthony Rizzo will be in the 2 spot. Jorge Soler third. Chris Bryant bats cleanup. Starlin Castro's off to a very good start this year. Wellington Castillo, and batting 7th, Addison Russell. Last night got his first career major league hit. Russell is now 1 for 9. And Jonathan Herrera will bat 9th and play third base. And Jeff Locke doing the pitching this afternoon.
Yep, he gets start number 3. He has been absolutely terrific. ERA under 2, both starts against the Brewers. And it's all about control with Jeff Locke, and it's all about changing speeds with his 3 basic pitches. And he has done a terrific job. And I think we're going to have kind of similar styles. Now, Jeff is a left-hander. Hendricks is a right-hander, but both known for their control and both known for working fairly quickly. So ought to be an interesting pitching matchup.
Defensively, behind Jeff Locke today. Defense presented by Honda. The outfield looks a little different. Sean Rodriguez in left, Gregory Polanco in center, Andrew Lambeau is in right. The infield much more familiar. And doing the catching, Chris Stewart, catching the day game after the night game. Francisco Cervelli is off. So Sean Rodriguez, the utility man, getting the start in left field. Marte is out with the sore hand. Polanco in center. McCutchen a scheduled day off. And Andrew Lambeau, he's under there somewhere. And Lambeau looking for his first big league hit. Might get it today. I mean, first hit of the season, I should say. Should get it today. And Marte setting this one out.
Yeah, and I think communication between the outfielders is going to be important. Polanco in center field is going to have to coordinate with Rodriguez and Lambeau, so we'll see how that plays out. Hope it goes well.
So Jeff Locke getting set to deliver the first pitch of the game to Chris Denorfia. And that is a strike on the outside corner. Good way to start. He's been getting a lot of those this year. Strike ones. Getting ahead of the hitters.
Painting the corners. Want it out there again.
One pitch is in for a strike.
And they get it out there again.
0-2 to Denorfia. 3 for 10 on the season for Chicago. 0-2 pitch.
Right there.
First base umpire DJ Rayburn on the appeal said he didn't go.
You know, and Jeff Locke has told me that he doesn't want to be too readable, that the fastball is always on the inside part of the plate against right-handers.
That ball is strike 3. In the dirt, Stewart is able to block it, and Denorfia strikes out, and that's how Jeff Locke's afternoon begins. Denorfia thought him perhaps that he got a piece of it. Let's get a look.
Buries the curveball down in the dirt, unhittable. Never came close. He was way out in front. That bat was gone by the time the ball got past him.
Kerwin Danley calling the balls and strikes this afternoon. And Anthony Rizzo up. Strike is called. Joe West, the crew chief, he is out at second base today. Josh Harrison actually was in the shift. And the 0-1 pitch, and Rizzo trying to take his base hit. Locke fields, throws, and he got him.
And the only person that had a chance to make that play was right there, number 49, Jeff Locke. Shift was on, and if it's pushed a little further away, he gets the easy base hit. But what helps Jeff Locke, left-hander, he's following through a little bit toward third base. Right-hander is not going to make that play because he's heading in the other direction. Quick release, good strong throw. Nice play.
And you can see Josh Harrison in the middle. Jordy Mercer alone on the left side, and that's why Rizzo tried to bunt over there.
Easy pickings if you bunt it correctly.
This time Locke comes inside to Soler and picks up the strike. Well, it's just a matter of when, not if, we see more and more players, certain parts of the game, like this part of the game, try to take the base hit against the shift.
Yeah, situational bunting. Your big boppers aren't going to do that a lot, but different occasions call for it. Trying to make the point with Jeff Locke a little bit before. He is known to be a guy to throw the right-handers a lot of fastballs in to set up the outside stuff. He says he doesn't want to be quite so predictable. So right off the get-go today, he starts throwing some fastballs outside to Denorfia. rather than come inside. So that's good. Change your patterns. Don't become too readable. Yeah. Now Jeff Locke also is turning a little bit, hiding the body, turning his body back away from home plate. That never hurts. Give him a little more deception. Watch the body go almost back around. You can read the 49, and that's a real good look that you get from a pitcher because you don't see it that often, and it gives you a look that the hitter is seeing. I like that look.
Locke's 3-1 to Soler. Inside, and he walked it. 2 out base on balls, and the Cubs have a base runner. Take a look at today's Rivers Casino tips to win.
Well, save the pens. You can interpret that any way you want to. We'd love to have Locke go deep, save our bullpen. I'd like to get some help for the other pens too. And the guys off the bench, new configuration in the outfield. You already heard about that in the batting order. Get those guys to have a good afternoon. Good way to launch your trip to Arizona.
Chris Bryant down to third, diving, stopped by Harrison. They get the force out. Oh, what do you say, Jay Hay? What a play. The Cubs are done in the first. Pirates to the plate. He thought maybe he'd have been on first base right now if it wasn't for the play of Josh Harrison.
The hot corner on a cool afternoon.
Josh Harrison will lead off after making a great play. We'll take a look at the Toyota starting lineup. Jay Hay and then Andrew Lambeau looking for that elusive first hit. Gregory Polanco bat third. Walker cleanup. Pedro moves to the 5th spot. Jordy Mercer 6th. Sean Rodriguez bats 7th. Chris Stewart hitting 8th. Followed by the pitcher, Jeff Locke, who will bat 9th. It is a chilly and overcast afternoon here on this 23rd day of April. Final game of this 10-game homestand. Cubs starter Kyle Hendricks makes his first ever start against the Pirates.
And check out the walks number, similar to Jeff Locke. Very, very good control. So the Cubs have brought their kids to work today.
They have. As Harrison hits one high in the air, down the right side and out of play. A very young team, the Chicago Cubs team, and frankly, they should give the fans in Chicago something to root for this summer.
Yeah, that message is coming through. You know, Kyle Hendricks has come up through the organization after coming over from Texas, and 7-2 his rookie season last year. Started out AAA Iowa, came up, did a really good job.
Harrison has fouled it off down to the other side of the field. 0-2 to Josh. Last year when he made his major league debut in July, Hendricks opened some eyes, especially in the month of August. Had a terrific August. As Josh taps this one to right field, Soler will grab it for the out. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Hendricks went 4-0 in August. Earned National League Rookie of the Month honors.
Yeah, he was 10-5 at Iowa. That was enough of that. They brought him up. 7-2 for a rookie. Very, very impressive.
Andrew Lambeau. He is due. First pitch. That is low, ball one. Want to know to Lambeau. Swing at this one and hit it to left. Going back to Denorfia. Still going back. Oh my goodness. What a catch by Denorfia. You don't see many better than that one, as Denorfia commits highway robbery in left field.
And that's a trailing wind that's going to knock it down at all. So he just had to keep on going. And you're right, that's as good as you're going to see right there, as Lambeau gave it a big time ride. Of course, if we're playing the Cubs in Wrigley, that's a home run, but he never quit on the play.
Incredible catch. The Allegheny Health Network. Supermo slows it down.
Yep, and you got the big glove around it, and that creates that hinge effect that helps you hold on to it. That we have seen two sparkling defensive plays early in this ball game. Harrison and now Denorfia.
Gregory Polanco takes the ball.
Yeah, this to me might be the catch of the year so far.
And the 1-0 coming. That's in for a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike to Gregory. We'll show it to you again. It's worth seeing. Home run last night for Gregory.
That's worth seeing again too at some point.
Yeah, he hit a frozen rope right over the Clemente wall. Here's the Denorfia catch.
Yeah, you see some outfielders that will give you that jump that really isn't necessary, or that dive down onto the grass. This is a flat out effort.
3-1.
Now settle things down after those 2 sparkling plays.
3-1 pitch, hot shot off of Castro and into the outfield. Good turn for Polanco, and he'll be aboard with a 2-out single.
Single?
That's what I heard him say.
Are you kidding me? The ball's right at him. I'd love him.
I know, Steve. I'm not the official scorer.
Oh, I know. I'm
not the messenger here.
But you're playing deep as a shortstop. And he took it on the backhand side. Well, glad we got the hit. So certainly hit hard enough.
It was hit hard enough. Just a tough read for Castro off the bat. Now Neil Walker, who's hit safely in 5 straight. 241 average for Neil.
Usually get more too hot to handle rulings on the corners for first or third and playing that deep. But that ball was sharply hit, and he got his feet tangled up at a bad angle. Needed to take that straight on, but wound up on the backhand side.
Polanco, a threat to run here as well. He does have 4 stolen bases.
How do we know it's Polanco with the camouflage and the whatever that is?
I don't know. You might have to send your investigative team down and figure it out. There goes Gregory. Pitches a strike, and Polanco is in with stolen base number 5.
It's an okay break. High throw helps.
Might have still had it. With a good throw. Runner in scoring position, 2 down. And Wellington Castillo wants to go talk to Kyle Hendricks.
He's saying, remember what the signs are with a man on second base.
Hendricks, an Ivy Leaguer out of Dartmouth. He was an economics major there, so if you're one of his teammates, you need some financial advice, he might be the guy to go to.
Well, the thing is, he saves 10%, negotiates his own contract.
Pitched for Big Green of Dartmouth at Red Rolfe Field in Hanover, New Hampshire. 2 balls and a strike now to Walker. Hendricks 2-1.
Oh, the changeup.
Throw back to second base, and that's into center field.
Thank you very much.
And Polanco down to third. That'll be an error on Castillo.
So a couple of bad throws by the Cubs catcher. A high throw on the steal, and now this ball into center field.
Well, trying to deke him by making him think he was throwing back to Hendricks.
Yeah. And a lot of traffic there, right at that particular spot. Runner, ball, and an error.
2 ball, 2 strike pitch. Pirates base runners. It's been a message since day one of spring training. Balls in the dirt. I want to see you going. I want to see that aggressive approach on the base paths, and that probably induced that throw by Castillo. Now Polanco safe at third. 2-2. Walker down on strikes, and the Pirates will leave a man out there. We played one at PNC Park. No score. On his commercial shoot with Sony PlayStation. See Kutch's contributions to MLB The Show and much more. It's Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network today after postgame on Root Sports. Well, you might need a different kind of glove today.
Any kind of glove.
A right one or left one or a pair of them, because it's a little chilly. On this Thursday afternoon game at PNC Park, first homestand of the season, getting set to wrap up. You won't need those hats or coats or anything else like that tomorrow if you're traveling with the Pirates. Out in Arizona, temperatures will be in the upper 80s, maybe in the 90s. And we will have Bucks and Pucks tomorrow right here. 6 o'clock pregame. Pens and Rangers tomorrow, and then right after that, the Pirates and Diamondbacks. So a doubleheader. Penguins and Pirates tomorrow, right here on Root Sports.
We had a whiteout kind of a blizzard for about 5 minutes last night at this ballpark. It was really, really weird.
Strike 2 to Starlin Castro. 1 ball, 2 strike count to the Cubs shortstop. You know, some of these guys had never played in snow before.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Caminero, who was out on the mound, didn't have a lot of issues with snowstorms when he's growing up.
No, not in the Dominican Republic, he did not. No. Heaters going in the Shark Tank today. 1-2 pitch. And a looper into center field. A base hit for Castro. What a start he has had, Steve. Starlin Castro, who has really had some tough seasons, I guess, by his standards over the last 2 years. Off to a great start. It seems like he's been re-energized.
Got it back together last year.
Joe Madden does things a little bit differently. The Cubs, by the way, going with an extra pitcher. They have 13 pitchers. They have 4 bench players. Now, you can get away with that in the American League every night of the week. National League, you might get caught short, especially when one of those bench players is a personal catcher. John Lester's personal catcher, David Ross, takes up a bench spot. And Wellington Castillo to left center field, splits the outfielders. Castro around second, of the Cubs will have runners at the corners.
And good for the Pirates that there's a catcher running there that had a chance to be 2 bases with a little more speed.
Second baseman, number 22, Addison Russell.
And there's the area that Jeff Locke has to stay out of.
Center cut fastball, and Wellington Castillo with another knock.
Talking about communication in the outfield, make sure the left fielder and the center fielder know what's going on with a ball that splits the gap like that.
Here's Addison Russell. Nobody out, first and third. And strike to Russell. His first big league hit last night. Called up Tuesday. Make his major league debut. He was originally with Oakland, part of the deal involving Jeff Samardzija and Jason Hamill, and last night's starting pitcher Hamill back with the Cubs. So who got the better of that deal, Steve?
I don't know. I'm still trying to sort it all out.
Samardzija's with the White Sox. He's not even with Oakland anymore, and the Cubs have Russell, who could be a mainstay in their infield for a lot of years, and they got Hamill, part of that trade.
I think
back.
The Cubs won it easily. Untangle it. So the first test of the afternoon for Jeff Locke. And a little communication issue going on with Stewart, Locke. Change up.
Russell pulls it foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Addison Russell last night. First major league hit came off of Jared Hughes. Pretty solid single to center. And he's got that baseball somewhere.
By the way, that last pitch, that changeup that Jeff Locke threw to a young player, and that's exactly what you want to have happen. Him be out in front. Foul ball. He's out in front in the count. And followed up with a fastball in on the hands.
And the 2-2. And a slow roller to the right side. Pedro's coming home. And they've got Castro. Gave himself up. 1 out. Fielder's choice for Russell. Now first and second.
Easy play at the plate. And now Jeff is in a good position. He's got the pitcher hitting right now in the number 8 spot. Good. Hopefully does become the second out, put you 1 out away from getting out of this mess that occurred when you had first and third and nobody out.
Kyle Hendricks waits the pitch from Locke. Swing and a miss.
And you love to get a ground ball at somebody, but you're also thinking about strikeout to get that second out, and then you're working against the number 9 hitter Herrera. Not a pitcher, obviously, but hitting under 200.
He'll take a strike here. Interesting. You think you might have your pitcher lay one down and have a position player come up and try to knock in at least one. But Hendricks now 0-2. takes strike 3.
Thank you very much.
College students save up to $10 on tickets to all Sunday through Friday games at PNC Park. All students with a valid college email address can save big on tickets in the outfield or grandstand. Purchase your tickets. Visit pirates.com/student. Future college students right there. Harvard, Yale, and Princeton right there. Because Dartmouth just struck out looking.
That's right.
This one is drilled deep to left center field off the bat of Herrera in the notch. Rodriguez dives. He won't get it. Cubs are going to get at least 2 out of this on a 2-out triple by Jonathan Herrera. Terrific effort by Rodriguez to get there.
And again, a carrying wind, taking it deeper than it might normally be. That is a long run.
2 RBIs for Herrera on this play, and just hit the pinky of the glove.
Yeah, that really is a great shot, because we didn't know from the back of him whether he got any leather on the ball, and he did. That would have been some. That might have outdone Denorfia's catch if he gets it.
And Denorfia up right now. 2 outs, and Herrera at third base. 2-0 Chicago. And a pitch. Well, you know, it's funny how things work out. You think that with 1 out, typically in the National League, you're going to see pitcher up, sacrifice bunt with men on first and second, move 2 men into scoring position, let a guy knock him in. Statue of Liberty play by Hendricks. He strikes out looking, and then with 2 outs, you think you're in pretty good shape. Number 9 hitter up, he hits a triple. Drives in 2.
And there are going to be people that are going to say, if Marte was out there, would he have caught her? Or they would say, yeah, Marte would have caught it. I don't think there's any guarantee. That was a long trip, and you're not playing very deep against Herrera. So I don't think that's fair.
All Starling can do right now is watch. A swing and a miss, and Denorfia down on strikes on a pitch in the dirt. Throw down, got him. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 left after an inning and a half. 2-0 Cubs. Already for Joe Madden and crew with a 2-out 2-run triple.
Yeah, I want to talk about Kyle Hendricks because he throws a good changeup. here it is striking out Neil Walker way out in front. And I bring it up because that is a key pitch for both of these starters this afternoon. Jeff Locke really depends on it, and so does Hendricks. So you're going to see a lot of that sort of thing. You're going to see a lot of swings out in front. You saw Jeff Locke throw a good one to Addison Russell.
Pitch to Pedro Alvarez, low for a ball. Pedro 11 out of 47 for a .234 average. And he swings and knocks this one in the air to left. Denorfia will make the catch, and there's one out. One down quickly for the Pirates.
Back at 6, shortstop number 10, Jordy Mercer.
And Jordy Mercer back up there. First time he's been in the lineup since he was drilled in the chest by a Matt Garza pitch. Jordy was trying to sacrifice bunt during the Milwaukee series and got a 90+ mile-an-hour fastball right in the chest. Hit him flush.
Yeah, you get squared around like that trying to bunt. You are very vulnerable. That's why I guess a lot of pitchers just turn the body instead of going face out to the pitcher when they're trying to bunt.
Jung Ho Kang had filled in for him the last couple of days. It was the most regular playing time Kang has had since being a Pirate. Jordy fouls this one off to the right into the second deck. This is where my dad took us instead of work today. So
good for Dad.
Yeah, get to the ballpark day. Nice. Jordy reaches for it, pokes it to shallow right. Soler there, 2 out.
Interesting. Nobody retired on the infield yet against Hendricks.
It seems like he's got hitters out on the front foot.
Yep, that off-speed pitch. He was rated one of the best control and changeup pitchers. That's kind of his resume.
Sean Rodriguez, 4 out of 10 on the year, 400 hitter. Making a start in left field. We have seen him play all over the place. We've seen him play every position but pitcher and catcher.
And you will see 100% effort. That's been his reputation wherever he's played. He's going to get just about everything he's got in the tank.
2-0 in for a strike. Hendricks pitching to Rodriguez. Polanco and Marte chatting, and Rodriguez hits one to center field and deep. Bryant going back, still going back. It's gone, a home run. Sean Rodriguez makes it 2-1. His first home run as a Pirate.
Got it up in the air. Breeze just carrying it. It might have had enough on a calm day. Got all of it, and he gets his first. Hendricks gives up his second straight away. So you got effort trying to catch that ball out in left center, and you got effort getting it over the wall in center.
I think for Sean, that was a no-doubter. He knew it. He knew it off the bat. Watch his reaction.
That's right down Grant Street. Right in the middle, and he knows he got enough of it.
Pitch to Chris Stewart. This is chop foul. The count 1-1. Chris Bryant had the best look at it. Stewart takes a strike. A ball and 2 strikes to the Pirate catcher Chris Stewart. Sean Rodriguez has the Pirates on the board. 2-1. Got one of those 2 runs back.
Now, neither one of these starters today can really spend too much time in that middle of that hitting zone. You say that, but then you say, you know, what pitcher can. No pitcher wants to spend a lot of time in the middle of that hitting zone. But the guys that throw harder have a tendency to get away with it a little more often.
2 outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Stewart. Stewart began the year with the Pirates a little later. He had a hamstring issue. The estimated distance on the Rodriguez home run, 446 feet. And the count is full to Stewart. 446.
So what we're saying here is that ball didn't just barely clear the home run wall. It's 400, so you got another about 50-some feet when you figure in the carry. The physics, the X times the Y equals 446.
That's good. Good math. 3-2. Chop of the short. Castro throws out Stewart. Pirates get a run back on the home run by Sean Rodriguez. 2-1. Cubs after 2.
By the Chevy Malibu and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
2-1 Chicago. Sean Rodriguez solo home run gets the Buccos on the board. We head to the 3rd inning at PNC Park. Cool day, hats, gloves. You need it. And the 446-footer, the longest of Rodriguez's career. There's Sid Bream sitting behind home plate today.
Yeah, now Sid knows about cool weather. He's a hunter. He's been out in these rough conditions. He's one of the good guys we've had in the game, Sid Bream.
I always enjoy visiting with Sid at some of the Pirates charities functions, including the Sporting Clays Invitational each year.
I bet he's good.
Very good.
Yeah.
He's very good. 1-0 pitch. And it's a 1-1 count to Rizzo. Rizzo trying to bunt against the shift last time up, and Jeff Locke made a good play on him, threw him out. Ball and 2 strikes to Rizzo.
Changing speeds. Jeff Locke featured here. You finish those kind of swings one-handed, you know you're way out in front.
Now 2 strikes. Mercer moves over closer to second base. Ball is yanked foul.
Rizzo, you can always kind of tell it's him. He's right up on top of the plate. He'll get hit with his share of pitches, but he does not flinch, and he has a great sense of the strike zone.
1-2. And this one pulled foul down the right field side.
I tell you, you got to be a little concerned about any ball that gets hit in the air, because it's a strong breeze and it's blowing exactly straight out. Well, it's getting help wherever you hit it. That's center field.
You mentioned Rizzo. He has set a Cubs record for getting hit 6 times in the month of April. pulls a foul.
And Jeff's not concerned about getting the ball in on him.
Oh.
Rizzo has 1 home run.
1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And a battle going on between Locke and Rizzo.
You'd like to get a whole bunch of innings from Jeff Locke today. Pirates have had a very, very busy bullpen.
Good looking pitch. All the ball.
Yep, he's got that good eye.
Pitch number 7, just a little bit off the plate.
And with Rizzo, when he's taking those kind of, it's not a half swing. I mean, he's just very confident in his ability to see strikes.
A ground ball slowly hit. Charging is J-Hay. Harrison with a quick flip gets Rizzo. Let's check in with Robbie Inspikowski down by the Pirate dugout.
Yeah, we got Jorge Soler coming up, Chris Bryant following him, and Gregory Polanco, 3 prospects that have come up in the last couple of years to a ton of hype. And I asked the Pirates general manager, Neil Huntington, what he makes of all this hype and attention that's coming along with these prospects, and he used one word to describe it all, and the word he used was unfair. He said, while Bryant may be an all-star this July, it's more than likely he'll be a really good young player still who has growth in front of him. The expectations are so high and people get so ramped up about the first couple games that they lose sight that this is a multi-year process with any young player. He referenced Mike Trout. Not a lot of people remember. Yeah, he was called up from AA Arkansas, but he was sent back down to the minor leagues before he became Mike Trout. So let's temper the expectations a little bit. And he said, unfair. Just let the guys play and let them grow.
Gregory Polanco had that same scenario or similar.
A lot of players. A lot of players.
2 balls and a strike to Jorge Soler. Another one of the crop of really good young players, and there's another one, Chris Bryant. 2-1. So it's fouled back. And just being around the Cubs for the first time this year, Steve, there seems to be an entirely different vibe about this ball club than there has been in years past. There's just something different about this year's Cubs team.
Yeah, there's a lot more energy for one thing. You got a lot of young players. That creates energy. You got a new manager. He has a lot of personality.
So they're down on strikes. Strikeout number 4 for Locke.
And the Cubs are off to a good start, but you know, so many teams in a transition, as you watch this strike delivered by Jeff Locke, in transition from older players, maybe highly paid guys that are a little over the hill. It doesn't happen overnight. Now, the Cubs are off to a good start, but it's a long, long run.
Bryant swing and a miss. Greg had a chance to visit on radio with Chris Bryant the other night, and he asked him if he was overwhelmed with all of the attention that he was getting to start his big league career, and he said, you know, not really. He said it's part of the deal, and he was enjoying every minute of it. So has a good attitude, certainly, and doesn't let the distractions bother him. 0-2 pitch.
He wanted it in on the hands,
and he goes down on strikes. So 1-2-3 go the Cubs, and Jeff Locke strikes out 2. He's got 5 Ks this afternoon. PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Here's our day automotive, this day in Pirates history. This date, 1966. The Pirates scored 3 times in the top of the 9th to come back and beat the Cardinals 5-4. The 9th began with Nellie Briles giving up a solo home run to Bob Bailey. Nellie was then replaced by Dennis Ost, who gave up a solo home run to Jim Pagliarone. Then he was replaced by Hal Woodchick, who gave up a solo home run to Jose Pagan. And those 3 solo shots took Steve Blass off the hook and gave Pete Mickelson the win.
Shouldn't have taken me out.
How about that?
Never taken me out.
Jeff Locke down to first. The toss by Rizzo to Hendricks. And there is 1 out. 3-1 goes to put out. Take a kid to work day.
Yeah, we've got some guests. Come on in here, guys.
Some of the Root Sports employees.
Can you tell us what their name is?
This is Dave Ricchini's daughter right here. Caitlin. Okay, Steve's got the.
All right, we got these guests. They're all in pink. They're bundled up. I hope you're warm enough, guys. You ready for the Pirates to win? Okay.
Well, Josh Harrison at the plate. Who's your favorite player? McCutchen. She likes McCutchen.
We do too.
0-1. And Josh takes a strike. Anybody for Harrison? Anybody? Any takers for Josh Harrison? We have 1. 0-2 in the dirt. Gets away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josh. He flied to right field first time up. Soler retired him. Just 193. 2 home runs. Both of his home runs were leadoff home runs. He has 4 of those in his career now. And 2 this week. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Speaking of home runs, Sean Rodriguez home run in the 2nd inning, Steve.
Yeah.
It made sure that the Pirates have now homered in 7 straight games. It's a streak they matched last year. It was the longest streak. They did that twice. There's one over the mound, and Castro behind the bag, throwing on to first to get it. 2 men out for the Pirates in the 3rd. Andrew Lambeau will be up next. Reserve your seats for the most in-demand games this year with a 12-pack plan. The Flex Pack gives you the flexibility to personalize your plan by selecting the games that best fit your schedule. Fans can lock in the best prices and seating locations to high-demand games. Plus, fans who purchase a 12-pack plan receive a postseason ticket pre-sale opportunity. 1-800-BUY-BUCKS. Call it right now to talk to somebody. They're there. Lambeau takes a pitch up high for a ball. Boy, Lambeau robbed his last time up. Absolutely robbed by Chris Denorfia, who made an incredible catch in left field on the warning track to take away not just a hit but extra bases from Lambeau. Denorfia with a stretching catch laid out toward the outfield wall to grab it. 2-0. And this one fouled off. And 2 balls and a strike to Andrew.
Great to have the kids up here. It's a different look. They're just all eyes looking at. They don't know what to look at next. The river or the city or the field. It's great.
2-1 and Lambeau to left center. That's going to get down and roll to the wall. And Lambeau around first. He is into 2nd standing with a 2-out double. First hit of the season for Andrew Lambeau.
And he deserved that. He deserved the other one, but this one cut the gap just perfectly and had enough on it to get out to the wall. As kind of takes that one and just sends it the other way. 2 really good at bats for Andrew Lambeau. Nobody going to catch out. See if we can get a little 2-out action going here.
Now the tying run is in scoring position for Gregory Polanco. Polanco had a base hit first time up. Stole second. Stretched by Hendricks, and the pitch. Strike call.
And that's what the Pirates have always liked about Andrew Lambeau. That gap shot, that doubles, those line drives to catch some open areas. Yeah, he can hit over the fence too, but that's kind of the thing you like to see, him getting those solid two-base shots.
To Polanco. The 1-1 pitch. Gregory taps it right back to the mound. And this will do it for the Pirates in the third inning. No runs, a hit, and a man left. On to the fourth. Chicago 2, Pirates 1. Your weekend with the Bucks and some of the best bands in the Bird during Friday Night Rocks on Root Sports.
It's a Friday night, but things are all right when the Bucks take it down and pulls inside.
Get tuned in to Pittsburgh's music scene as we showcase local artists and tracks throughout every Friday Night Pirates broadcast. Friday Night Rocks tomorrow when the Bucks take on the Diamondbacks on Root Sports. Music by the Hawkeyes tomorrow. Will be featured on our telecast.
He must be from Iowa. Iowa Hawkeyes?
Good chance. Andy McCutcheon's got his jacket off. But they are a local band, Steve. Maybe with thoughts of Iowa. One out of Starlin Castro. 2 balls, no strikes. Castro singled and was thrown out at the plate on a ground ball to first. It's Pedro Alvarez and tried to come in from third, and he was out by a mile, gave himself up. And kind of wondering why he didn't try to get in a rundown with 2 men on base behind him. If he stayed in it long enough, there's a chance he could have moved at least one, maybe both of them up.
Yep.
Two ball, 1 strike pitch. That's a
clock pulling the string again. Fast and slow, slower than fast, changing speeds.
2-2 on the ground, and Walker with a backhand stab, leaping throw off the mark. That'll be a hit for Castro.
We can't get Castro out. Simple as that right now. We got to get him out of town.
So Starlin Castro aboard again. Let's take a look at our Barrel Automotive League leaders stats. Strikeouts to walk rate on the National League starters. 2 of them are in this game today. Jeff Locke and Kyle Hendricks. You saw Jason Hamill last night. Matt Harvey leading Bartolo Colon with the Mets, and the Mets, by the way, in case you haven't seen,
Metropolitans
have won 10 in a row.
Hottest team in baseball.
Castro getting back to the bag as Castillo is up. He had a base hit in the second to left center. Nothing in one to Wellington Castillo.
That's under the guidance of Terry Collins. Spent a lot of time in the Pirate organization. Making the headlines in New York right now. So the Yankees.
And the 0-1 now from Locke. And Castro stays put.
We're talking, I think a couple innings ago, about the Pirates trying to be ready for those kind of situations, just be ready to take off. And you think that Starlin Castro wishes he had.
Well, that's amazing.
Flanker.
That's amazing he didn't move up.
Yeah. The hesitation, and then you have to shut it down. You hesitate. That's a gut feel.
That is a break for the Pirates.
Can I do it or can I do it? I mean, you can't take time to think about it. That's a gut feel. Go or don't go.
1-1, bounding ball. That's a fair ball. Jay knocks it down long toward first. Out.
He stayed with the play. Wound up in foul territory, making that long, strong throw all the way over to Pedro. That's a really, really good play. That ball out of the glove. And now the recovery.
A little head check there. Yep. At the third base umpire, Gabe Morales, just to make sure that was a fair ball.
Yep. And very fortunate once again that Castillo, the catcher, was running.
Good field awareness by Jay Hay. One out, Addison Russell, batter. Ball one to Russell. Reached on the fielder's choice and scored a run in the second inning. Russell made his big league debut Tuesday night. There's Castro at second. He's got a 6-game hitting streak now. One 1-0 pitch. Strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike. Take a look at our Point Park University tweet, Steve. You can always catch us here in the booth. Hashtag Bucks Booth. How does the cold affect a pitcher? Does it change as the game progresses?
That ball fouled away. One of the things you have to be aware of when it's cold and dry like this, it's a dry field. It's hard to get the grip that you want on a baseball. So you can have a lot of slippage. You don't want it to be cold when your fingers are dry. Now you can step off the mound and you can put your fingers in your mouth, because when it's cold like this, it is hard. It's especially hard on a curveball to hold that grip and get the kind of bite that you want.
This one to the gap in right center and deep. Addison Russell will have extra bases. The Cubs will get another run. Castro will score easily on the RBI double by Addison Russell.
So he finds the gap. Just to finish up on that question, during the course of the game, it really doesn't change. The one positive thing as you watch the replay of this double to right center field is the fact that you're the only guy working, so you're the only guy that can keep warm. And hitters traditionally hate to try to hit in cold weather, even though the other night it was a 9-8 ball game. But that you can get the ball inside on them. They don't like that. I always thought I had a little advantage on a cold night. I stayed a little stronger. And didn't always work, but the main thing is trying to get some moisture, get some feel on your fingers, and not have the ball really be too slippery.
Kyle Hendricks, the pitcher, up now. Jeff Locke has given up 3 runs on 5 hits. Hendricks struck out first time up. He swings and misses. 1-1. That's a neat jacket, huh?
That is a pirate garment right there. I see a 71 up there. Okay,
we're good. 71.
We're good.
1-1 pitch. There's a strike. That's 1-2. What about gripping the baseball on a cold day?
Well, that's the grip. That's the dryness.
Yeah.
On the fingers. Jeff will roll the ball around so he doesn't give any grip away.
And he strikes out Hendricks.
That's pretty easy. Number 6.
It is still Take Your Kid to Work Day today. So
okay.
Root Sports employees are getting a demonstration from World Series champion Steve Blass.
There you go.
How about that?
That's the curveball. That's the fastball. That's the anti-wobbler, which is a very special, very secret kind of a pitch. It takes a while to learn that. I had to learn that way down in South America somewhere. It's very tricky.
It only works south of the equator, is that right?
Very much, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
A lot of the Root Sports families on Take Your Kid to Work Day up in the suite.
See yourself on that camera, can't you? Yeah.
Jonathan Herrera had the 2-run triple in the second inning, 1 for 1. He now has a 1-ball, 1-strike count on it. Madison Russell, a runner at second. 2 men out in the Cubs' fourth. What are you doing, Steve?
I gave a high five and we took the whole headset with us. It was a high five headset shot.
Runner goes, throw down by Stewart, and out at third. Madison Russell caught trying to steal third. Cubs add a run, 3-1 after 3.5. They're burning themselves out of the inning. Addison Russell caught trying to steal third with 2 outs, and it was a very close play, but Jay just got the tag on him.
Yep, on the back of the heel. Yeah, and why, you wonder kind of why he's going there. So a couple confusing things with the Cubs. Starlin Castro, that situation you talked about, and this attempt to steal third base right there.
You could see if, for example, if Harrison was playing way back and close to the outfield grass, but he was not. He was right near the bag.
Plus, with 2 outs, I mean, if there's 1 out, maybe you can catch a pitcher being careless and get over there scoring a sacrifice fly. There's 2 outs.
Cubs are second in stolen bases in the National League with 16 behind Cincinnati's 17. They are running more than they've run in years.
And successfully, yeah.
Neil Walker takes a strike. He struck out swinging in the first.
On one of the good Hendricks changeups.
A good pitch in there for a strike. 1-2. Walker has hit in 5 straight. He's 0 for 1 today. And he pulls this one foul. Pirates and Cubs will get reunited rather quickly at Wrigley Field. Bucks will move on to play Arizona starting tomorrow for 3 games, and then Clint Hurdle's team will go right to Wrigley Field and play the Cubs there for 3. See if Joe Madden will have to break out that hat. Wrigley Field, by the way, is 101 years old today. It's its birthday today.
I love Wrigley Field. I really do. Looks like an old ballpark, smells like a ballpark, and it can get just as cold there as it's been here the last 3 days. Just love Wrigley.
Walker takes on the inside corner, and he strikes out for the 2nd time. 1 out for the Pirates in the 4th. One of the W.B. Mason strike zone. We'll see where that pitch was. Just painted that corner. So Walker is 0 for 2. And the Allegheny River always in use. The Empress carrying some passengers today. Strike to Pedro. You know, the first game featured at Wrigley Field 101 years ago.
Bob Walk against Billy Hands.
The Chicago Federals. The Federals. They played Kansas City. I don't know who Kansas City's mascot was back then 101 years ago. But the Chicago Federals won 9-1. And Wrigley was known as Weigman Park at the time. April 23rd, 101 years ago. They opened for business on the north side of Chicago.
Can't think of the Cubs this year without thinking of Ernie Banks. One of the best, Mr. Cub.
0-2, breaking ball missed. And it's 1-2 to Pedro.
Number 14, they're commemorating and honoring Ernie Banks' number. Great man.
The dirt. 2-2.
Ernie Banks, Billy Williams, Ron Santo, Fergie Jenkins. What a group they had.
Carlos Fulton. Yeah, you got to play against some really good players.
Good players. Good people. Ronnie Santo, as much an icon as Ernie Banks, to be quite honest.
Payoff pitch. Grounding ball to second. There's Russell. Throws out Pedro, and there are now 2 men out for the Pirates in the 4th. It's not too late to get on board with Bucko Baseball as a season ticket member. Personalize your membership with the games and benefits that fit you. Access postseason tickets, special events, exclusive communications. Be part of the team. The best seats and the best pricing are reserved for our members. Call 1-800-BUY-BUCKS right now. Someone is standing by to take your call. 2 outs, and the shortstop Jordy Mercer up. Hoisting the colors here this afternoon. And a strike to Jordy, 1-1.
Just love to go to Chicago and play the Cubs. There was a reliever for the Cubs back in the day, Ted Abernathy. Kind of a submarine baller. Willie Stargell was absolutely cruel to him. It was not even fair. Tough Ted would come in and Willie would just send it halfway back into downtown Chicago every time. It's one of those matchups that, well, it's like the Pirates against Broxton right now.
Yeah.
Just almost cruel. Tough Ted.
2 to Mercer's outside. You're going to be making a trip to Wrigley this year, I hear.
I am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to look a little different than the last time you saw it.
I don't want it to. I don't
Too late. It
well,
already does.
All right. Well, I want to consider changing it back for just that weekend. Bob Walk's son is getting married, and I'm happy to fill in.
Swinging bunt, and they play to first. Mercer is out. Pirates gone in order. We head to the 5th. 3-1 Cubs.
Ball game. That's Brianna Kiesel wearing the Tulsa basketball shirt. The former Pitt Panther was drafted 13th overall this week by the Tulsa Shock of the WNBA. Will be going to play professional hoops as we wish her the best of luck. Kiesel, a 3-time team captain and the only player in program history with 1,500 points, 500 rebounds, and 400 assists. Great stuff for Brianna Kiesel and all of us here at Root Sports. Wish her the very best, Tim and Steve, as she embarks on her professional career in Tulsa.
And news from Pitt today. They have a new athletic director. Scott Barnes.
You ever run across him on your travels?
For Utah State. I saw Utah State over the winter. I did not, but they were on the road. I didn't see Mr. Barnes, but Scott Barnes, congratulations. He's the new athletic director at Pitt. And a strike call to Herrera. 0-2. Yeah, Brianna Kiesel actually saw her play a couple of times this year. Very good. And down on strikes goes Herrera.
Number 6 for Jeff. Once again off speed. Once again a Cubby way out in front.
So that rotation on that curveball.
Good downer.
We've talked about the grip on that curveball with that first knuckle up. It's half knuckleball, half curve, but the spin just makes that ball do funny things. There's a ball that looked like it hit off of the glove of Locke and goes through into center field for a base hit for Chris Denorfia.
And by the way, that's strikeout number 7 for Jeff. Credit for all those Ks.
He'll catch a piece of Locke's glove here. Boom, right there.
See Jeff frustrated, knowing he thinks he should have had that one.
Anthony Rizzo. 0 for 2. Stewart blocks it. 1 ball and no strikes. Denorfia 1 for 3, struck out twice, now has a base hit. 1 out and 1 on for Chicago.
Well, the Cubbies are stealing a lot more bases, but there's a whole lot more to base running, good base running, than just stealing bases. And you need to have the whole package. You want to avoid running into outs. You want to take advantage of balls in the dirt. So there's only just taken off for second base. And nobody knows that more than that man right there. Joe Madden.
Speaking of Joe Madden, whether the Cubs win or lose this year, things will certainly be different. They will be different.
Different vibe.
Wrigleyville.
Well, he looks on. Jeff Locke continues to pound Anthony Rizzo inside. We'll see where Stewart sets up, but he has been in there a good bit.
Denorfia got a big jump, but put on the brakes. Saw that ball in the dirt, took off, and then stopped. Stewart had a hold of it. And he rips one to right field and deep. This ball going back, and it's off the wall. Denorfia will be held at third, and into second with a double is Rizzo.
And he got a lot of that one. Jeff did not get far enough in. And Rizzo was on top of it. Yep. It's a very demanding error. If you want to come in, you got to either come in too far if you miss, because you don't want to miss out into that hitting zone, and that's just exactly what happened. And the Pirates actually got a pretty decent bounce. That ball can go anywhere off that surface.
Jorge Soler, one out, second and third. 3-1 Chicago.
Good block. Cubs now with 7 hits off Jeff. And here's the block.
Denorfia the runner at third base and Rizzo at second. Soler takes a strike. Diving back to third is Denorfia. Stewart just kind of flinched as if to bluff a throw down there. Jay didn't bother to cover. Denorfia slid back anyway. Didn't want to take a chance. Walks 1-1. Bounding ball foul. Happy young man. Got himself a big league baseball now.
And an opportunity for Jeff Locke to perhaps get a huge strikeout. It would be number 8, and it would give him a second out, maybe a chance to wiggle out of this mess.
Now leaving the count at 2-2. Nowhere for the runners to go. Camouflage uniforms today on Military Appreciation Day. Next one will be May 7th.
I wonder if a slippery baseball had something to do with that delivery from Jeff.
Now the count is full. Stewart's getting a workout behind the plate.
There's an open base, but you've got Mr. Bryant in the on-deck circle.
And Bryant, who's only played just a little more than a handful of major league games, is garnering some respect already for what he has been able to do with the bat. Payoff. Foul back.
Off speed and the payoff pitch. You do lose him. You set up a double play, but you're playing with fire. Jeff did strike Bryant out last time up.
3-ball, 2-strike offering. Popped him up foul. And it stays 3-2 to Jorge Soler.
Start looking at the pitch count now. Was it 82 now?
82 pitches for Jeff into the 5th. 81 pitches, beg your pardon. This will be 82. And he's walked for the 2nd time. And the bases are loaded with 1 out. Clint Hurdle will get the bullpen activated.
Something that he certainly didn't want to do in the 5th inning. Ray Searage will go out and buy some time.
And as far as the bullpen goes today, no Jared Hughes, no Tony Watson. Neither are available for the game today. Tony Watson picking up a 2-inning save last night. We'll see who gets up. It's an early call to the pen for Clint Hurdle. Rodimus Lees will begin to throw for the Buccos. Right after the game today, the Pirates travel out to Arizona. Tomorrow, it's a Bucks and Pucks doubleheader as the Rangers and Penguins will play Game 5 of the playoff series. Pre-game right here on Root Sports, starting at 6 o'clock in the evening, and then immediately following the Rangers and Penguins, it's the Pirates and Diamondbacks. Game 1 of a 3-game weekend set from Phoenix. Bucks and Pucks tomorrow. Bryant takes in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes.
I'll be with you in spirit and watching your Buccos take on the Diamondbacks and watching the Pens beat up on the Rangers.
Got
full night of
nowhere to go. Just sit down and watch both. 1-0 pitch. That's low. 2-0. Now Locke falling behind Bryant. He's going to have to come in with a strike. Bryant knows that. Base is full. And 1 out. 5 out of 11 with runners in scoring position so far since being called up. Two and one.
Now, see, there's a young player who's had great success, but he has not seen a lot of this kind of changeup and that kind of deception coming up through the minor leagues. When they threw changeups, a lot of them were telegraphed. That's a major league changeup in a tough spot. He hasn't seen a lot of that.
2-ball, 1-strike pitch. Now it's 3-1. Jeff in the danger zone.
But there's no guarantee that Bryant is going to get a fastball.
Denorfia still at third base with Rizzo at second and Soler over at first.
Where's the ground ball? Right here. Where's the ground ball?
Jeff wants to talk to Chris Stewart, get this pitch right. Bryant hit into an inning-ending around the horn double play in the 3rd inning in Game 1 of this series. Monday night. Rodimus Lees continues to warm.
Trying to keep the Cubbies close.
Count full. 3-2 now. There you go, buddy. Oh, can you reach it? Yeah, he had some help. That's great. Three-ball, 2-strike count.
Boy, Jeff not giving in to that fastball, even though it is a very critical time.
22 pitches this inning.
To be quite honest, Jeff Locke's best pitch is a changeup. So fastball can be effective, but the big picture, it is a secondary pitch.
And the Cubs get another run. Back-to-back walks. And scoring will be DeNorfia. It's now 4-1 Chicago.
And it doesn't get any easier against the hot bat of Castro.
Starlin Castro 2 for 2.
And you wonder how much of a leash that Jeff has now, because Clint wants to get more from him, but another change up. Philly fans in the building.
Well, they can sit in the bleachers here. They can at Wrigley right now. They're under construction. 1 ball and 1 strike to Castro. Kind of anxious to see the changes in person next week. I've seen photos and video, but some things are new there. Still more new things on the way in the future, we understand.
Really a struggle for Jeff right now. He needs that ground ball. Find it somehow.
And there's the ground ball. Mercer to Walker to Alvarez.
Okay. Found the ground ball.
So the damage limited to just a run on 2 hits. 4-1 Cubs. Park on the UPMC scoreboard. Starlin Castro gets into an inning-ending double play. That is our Chick-fil-A double play.
Well, we need that too. It does keep the Cubbies in sight. They get a run, but that could have been an inning that just blew up on Jeff and the Pirates.
Sean Rodriguez, who hit a 446-foot home run, longest home run of his career, in the 2nd inning. He was responsible for the lone Pirates run. 1 ball and 1 strike to Sean.
Jeff had one of those days where the outs were either on the ground or strikeouts. No fly ball outs.
90 pitches for Jeff Locke right now through 5. Rodriguez is this one foul. Third base side.
We talk about starts for pitchers, not just Pirate pitchers, but there are times, and a lot of times during the course of a season, if you're going to start over 30 games, where you're not on your game and you just try to do whatever you can to keep it together. And you really have a sense of when you're struggling, trying to find it. Sometimes you don't find it, but you still can keep your ball club in the ball game. Jeff Locke working to do that. Liriano's working to do that. In fact, Worley was working to do that. So it happens to every pitcher.
Two and two to Rodriguez. Sean Rodriguez waits the pitch from Kyle Hendricks. The 2-2 is well hit down the right field line. That ball will slice. Look at that kite.
There you go. That's flying the Jolly Roger.
That is. This one hit up in the air to right center. Soler from the warning track will make the catch. And we'll go back to our Root Sports studios. Rob King is standing by with his State Farm game break.
Catcher, Chris Stewart.
All right, thank you, Rob. As Chris Stewart steps in.
The amazing Mets.
They're amazing right now. Stewart down to third base. Herrera throws him up. Two men down. Follow the Pirates all season in 2015 with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet.
Speaking of the '86 Mets, the champions, our good buddy Eric Sherman, currently working on a book chronicling that year for the Metropolitans. Eric did a lot of great work helping me with the one I did, and hard work following up a book he wrote in regards to Mookie Wilson. Eric, very prolific these days.
Yeah. Who's Jung Ho Gung. Started the last 3 games for the Pirates. Pinch hitting for Jeff Locke. 0-2 the count to him. And the pitch. Foul back. Rodimus Lee's warming still. See him in the top of the 6th. 0-2.
Good changeup thrown by Hendricks. We talked about both starters with their terrific control. Hendricks has been very good, and not so good for Jeff. Jeff walked 3 today.
Jeff had only walked 1 over his first 2 appearances. And 3 here. He walked Soler twice and then walked in a run. He walked Bryant. Chris Bosio, Cubs pitching coach, has to like what he sees out of his right-hander today. He has limited the Pirates to just the 1 run on the home run by Rodriguez in the 2nd inning. Jay Haig waiting on deck, hoping for a chance this inning. 2 down, nobody on. Young down to third base. Herrera up with it. And the Pirates are gone in order in the 5th. On to the 6th. Cubs 4, Pirates 1. Terrific shots from the Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Pirates need a spark. Hawthorne Heights coming to Stage AE May 4th. Top of the 6th, 4 runs on 7 hits for the Cubs. And for the Pirates, just the 1 run on the home run by Rodriguez. 3 hits total.
So a new Pirate pitcher is Adam Lees. And he will be coming on to make appearance number 4. As Jeff Locke departs. Jeff's line 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. He walked 3 and struck out 7.
Lees will face Wellington Castillo to start the Cub half of the 6th. Castillo 1 for 2. First ball is swinging, drives it a long way foul. Castillo, one of 3 catchers the Cubs are carrying. Miguel Montero, another, and then David Ross, the personal catcher of John Lester, who'll catch Lester tomorrow in Cincinnati opposite Mike Leake. Popped up, and who's got it? Mercer.
Major league pop up.
1 out for Chicago in the 6th.
Well, the Cub batters will see a different approach from the mound. Lefty to righty, a lot more speed from Lees than they saw from Jeff Locke.
What do you make of that personal catcher stuff, Steve? You like it? Do you wish you had one? Or
I've never been I've been a critic of that. I don't like it. I don't think it's a great reflection on the rest of your catchers. You know, I had 2 catchers most of the time that I threw to. I felt just as good with one as the other. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of it.
Francisco Cervelli off today, the day game after the night game. 1-1.
Of course, I was fortunate. I had Manny Sanguillen. I also had Milt May. Milt May was a very accomplished major league catcher.
Two 2-1. Foul tip into the glove for a strike. I'll bet the conversations you had when the catcher came out to see you were different when Milt came out as opposed to when Manny came out.
Yes. Yep. Very, very much so. Of course, I would be listening in English when Sankey was talking in Spanish. And that was always interesting.
That was an interesting approach you took. Payoff pitch, and this one's popped up. Pedro Alvarez drifting into foul ground, and is he going to run out of room? Yes. Ball up in the seats.
When Milt came out, pretty much he didn't come out to the mound very much. Many times, you got anything else you want to throw? You want to try? You got anything else left in the bag you want to throw? Milt was terrific, and Sankey. A lot of great catchers. Pitchers love their catchers. They're like brothers.
Russell down on strikes.
Heat upstairs. I go back to when I first started with Smokey Burgess.
Yeah.
And I told him in my first start in the 4th inning, Smokey, I do have a breaking ball, because it was with the Dodgers and they always like to run a lot. And Smokey thought his chances of throwing to second were better than with a fastball. So a lot of early fastballs. Yeah. Of course, I was brand new, so he wasn't really sure if I had a breaking ball probably for a while. Jerry May, Chris Cannizzaro, Jim Pagliarone, Jesse Gonder. A lot of catchers. Good guys.
Two and two to Kyle Hendricks. He has struck out looking twice.
Jesse Gonder was great whenever he'd hit a home run. Jesse didn't hit a lot of them, but whenever he did, he said, "Way out yonder with Jesse Gonder."
I think Greg would have liked him.
Oh, yeah. Yonder.
He's got the hat on there like Seattle's Fernando Rodney. There's strike 3. So 1, 2, 3. Go the Cubs as Hendricks strikes out for the 3rd time.
Solares from Cuba, and like many others, he had a family who had to endure a struggle to get to the USA. And the same can be said for the Pirates and their bullpen coach, Euclides Rojas. Now, with U.S.-Cuban relations recently improved, I asked Yuki what effect this may have on ball players who make their way to the U.S. in the future. The quote, he said, "This is a light at the end of the tunnel for Cuban ball players." He said Cuba can now be like Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic, where if their skills allow them to play in the major leagues, they can just come here and play. They want to go back to Cuba after the season, they can. And in fact, Tim and Steve, Rojas' wife Marta just went back this month for the first time since 1994, when both of them defected here to the United States of America. Yuki hasn't been back yet, but maybe someday he will. He added there still is some work to do, but at the least, there's light at the end of the tunnel, something for many years they couldn't previously say, guys.
Josh Harrison clubs one deep to left center. This ball going back, and it is off the very top of the wall. And Jay Hayes in with a leadoff double.
That's the way to start your bottom of the 6th inning. And thanks, Robbie, on that. That's certainly good news for not only a lot of baseball players, but a lot of families.
Yeah, keep in mind that Yuki and his wife, Marta, and their family defected on a raft. Were picked up by the U.S. Coast Guard. It's a story, really, that should be told. Wow, just missed a homer.
Yep. There's a little kind of a little notch on top of the regular padding to give a little extra protection. That might have come close to saving Mr. Hendricks for the moment.
Andrew Lambeau should have 2 hits, has 1. He was robbed in the first. Hendricks probably thinks this one's gone.
I did when I left.
Now he's probably saying, how didn't that go out? And Lambeau to the right side. That moves Harrison over. 1 up.
Well, the thing is with Hendricks, he doesn't throw very hard. His fastball is 87, 88 miles an hour, so he can't afford to deliver a fastball where he did to Josh Harrison. He is going to get hurt in that neighborhood. Josh didn't miss it. So the Cubs will concede a run. They'll play back. Trade an out for a run.
Gregory Polanco 1 for 2. Single in the first, stole second. Bounced out back to Hendricks in the 3rd inning. Homered last night. Nice to see him go on one of those home run tears that Marte just did. Think about Starling and the home run tear he had heading into last night's game. He had 9 hits on the season. 5 of the 9 were home runs. Oh, 1. That's up high. 1 ball and 1 strike to Polanco.
Some activity in the Cubs bullpen now as Hendricks approaches the 90 pitch mark. Too far away from it.
Edwin Jackson warming up, former starter.
The ageless one.
2-1 the count. Polanco pulls a foul. It evens it up 2-2. Jay Hay missing a home run by a couple of inches. Right off that corner. Left field wall. And Gregory hits one to right field. This is going to get a run in. It's off the Clemente wall. Polanco into second base with a run scoring double, and it's 4-2.
Good start here in the bottom of the 6th. Back to back, not back to back doubles, but a couple doubles, getting the Pirates closer. Took that ball down and away and just hooked it back around for the right field line. Turned it right back around, and now they're going to try to perhaps buy a little time. And there's that another type of a bounce. It just hits that chain link fence and just stops right down. It doesn't come back far to anybody, and that can be interesting at times with decisions by third base coaches.
Joe Madden will come out now, and he'll lift his starter. He'll go to Edwin Jackson. Hendrick gets through 5 1/3. Gives up a run here. It's now a 2-run ball game, as Joe Madden will now go to the bullpen. Hendricks will leave with a lead. We'll take a pitching change timeout. 4-2 Cubs.
Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Kenny Ross, Ask a Neighbor. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin Furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
4 runs, 7 hits, and an error for the Cubs. 2 runs on 5 hits for the Pirates. 2 doubles in the top of the 6th have chased Cubs starter Kyle Hendricks. Polanco driving in Josh Harrison after Harrison's leadoff double. And now on to pitch for the Cubs is right-handed veteran Edwin Jackson.
His numbers coming out of the bullpen now. This is a guy that started 262 major league games.
He's 31 years of age, been around a bit. Started with the Dodgers, with the Rays, Tigers, Diamondbacks, Cardinals, Nationals, and now in his 3rd season with the Cubs.
Well, I go back to that double play that Castro hit into. That was big to keep the Pirates kind of within range, although they were down 3 at the time. But that was the big item. The rest of that inning didn't get away.
Neil Walker fouls this one off.
Neil Walker got to be happy to see Jackson struck out twice against Hendricks. Only 2 Hendricks strikeouts.
Steve, give him a napkin, will you?
It's got some work to do there.
Oh, it's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, against Jackson, Walker is 4 for 20, so hitting 200 against Edwin Jackson.
Just kind of had the idea that the Pirates were going to make a run at Hendricks at some point. Again, he's not a speedballer, so he's one of those guys that has to be just right. And it's hard to be just right for 9, 8, 7 innings.
Foul ball. So it's a 1-2 count. Polanco back to second base. Alex watches on. 5 1/3 for him. 5 hits, 2 earned runs so far. Still responsible for Polanco.
Can win it, can't lose it.
And the 1-2 to Walker. Will wait. Inside move by Jackson, getting Polanco back, keeping him close.
Well, Hendricks came in with an ERA of 6.10, and you just wonder how much of that 6.10 was early in games or late in games.
And if Polanco doesn't score, he'll drop it down to 5.17. Walker will try to get Polanco in and adjust that ERA a little more. Pedro's on deck. 1 out.
You just don't have a feel that either team has control of this ball game, although the Cubs lead by 2. Jump ball. This thing's going to be up for grabs, I believe.
Time is granted to Walker, who requested it. And now Wellington Castillo goes out to talk to Edwin Jackson.
At some point, we are going to see another pitch.
I think so. I don't see what would prevent it.
Well, we have a moment. This is the perfect spot for it. Get well wishes go out to Terry White out in North Braddock. Got some issue with the wheels, so we don't see a lot of stolen bases right away for Terry, but hope you're feeling better. And your buddy John and the rest of us.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Neil Walker. Jackson delivers. And Walker slaps this one down the left side out of play. Polanco back to the bag. And there is a souvenir. They're supposed to be taking a kid to work day, so they must have called off work. Brought their kids to the ballpark.
That's the way it should work.
That's a good plan.
You drive by at work and come out of the yard.
That's up and in. 3-2. Pirates will be supporting the Penguins today. The dress code for the trip to Arizona, Penguins game jerseys today.
Let's hope it works.
The 3-2 coming. And Walker hits it foul. In fact, Walker pointed at our producer Adam Elmore today and said he liked his shirt. As the sweater that he donned is a Ron Francis sweater. Number 10. He's showing that he's not on any kind of bandwagon. He's been around for a while.
Ronnie Francis, I think, was way back in the day a Hartford Whaler.
He was indeed. 3-2. And Walker ground ball toward the middle. That is going to be a base hit. It's kicked around, and Polanco will come home. Looked like I got caught up in Addison Russell's spike. Walker will drive in the run. And it's now a 1-run game at 4-3.
Still in business. Seeing eye single. Just out of the reach of everybody, kind of meandering up through the infield in between. And then Russell couldn't get a handle on it. And the Pirates keep it going.
Might have hit his shoe. And Polanco put the brakes on here, figuring somebody's going to catch it, and then says, oh, I can go. Well, the tying run is aboard. Walker will get an RBI. That'll be his 5th. Gregory comes around to score. Polanco 2 for 3.
Strategy meeting on the mound. Nobody warming up in the Cubs bullpen. They just want to talk this thing over.
The Penguins' quest for the Cup continues on Root Sports tomorrow as they head back to Madison Square Garden for Game 5 against the Rangers. Our coverage starts at 6 p.m. with a special 1-hour pregame on Root Sports. And following the Pens and Rangers game tomorrow, take you out to Arizona for Game 1 between the Pirates and the Diamondbacks. Bucks and Pucks tomorrow. 1 out, 1 on. Pedro at the plate.
And just in case you want to know it, we're talking about 262 Major League starts for Edwin Jackson, giving up 176 home runs in those 262 starts. So he is vulnerable. Hendricks watching this lead slide away.
He's outside for a ball. Thinking back a few years ago when Jackson was a Diamondback, Steve, he actually hit a home run against the Pirates out in Phoenix.
Time to return the favor right now.
1-0 coming to Pedro. That is low, ball 2. Pirates with a single run in the second, 2 here in the 6th. Cubs with 2 in the second, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th.
Many times you will see an aging pitcher who doesn't throw nearly as hard as he used to becomes somewhat of a nibbler by necessity.
Pedro in the driver's seat, 2-0. Back. Got a nice one.
Did he want full throttle on that one?
I think he'd like that one again.
That's a big time swing on a ball that can be hit a long way.
The Allegheny Health Network Super Mode. Show you the eyes of Alvarez. They're locked in on the baseball. Two and one.
It's a dangerous neighborhood for Edwin Jackson.
Pedro fouls it back. The Polanco run charged to Hendricks, so Hendricks charged for 3 runs in this game. Steve, his ERA now will be 5.74. Dropping from 6.10.
Well, heading in the right direction for him.
2-2 to Alvarez.
I would think something off speed after those 2 last fastballs, but
outside 3-2.
Away from the fastball.
Now with 1 out, the question is, do the Pirates get Walker in motion? Down a run here in the 6th.
Well, you got a strikeout candidate, and Neal doesn't burn up the base pass. But we'll wait and see.
And the 3-2. There goes Walker. That's ball 4.
Not even close.
2 on, 1 out.
Plot thickens. Still nobody warming up in the Cubs bullpen.
Herrera having a word with Jackson. Big at bat here for Jordy Mercer, who is 0 for 2. He flied to right and bounced out back to the pitcher Hendricks in the 4th inning. .189 is his average so far. Just to get that rolling. Jackson, a long pause in the pitch. In the dirt for ball 1.
Just get the idea that Edwin Jackson is searching right now to find something that's going to work for him.
Pirates actually tried to sign Jackson the year he went to Washington.
He's won 84 Major League games.
Check swing and a strike, 1-1. Well, he ended up going to the Nationals for just 1 year. He was looking for another kind of a deal and got a 4-year contract with the Cubs that he signed in 2013. So 13-14, this is the 3rd year of that 4-year deal for Edwin Jackson. That's up, throw down to first, it's into right field. Walker is going to get waved and then held, and Pedro's going to get hung up, perhaps. Nope, he gets back.
Well, Castillo's not going to throw it again. That's for sure.
Wow. Well, an error for sure on Castillo. Walker was getting the windmill from Rick Sofield. He was waving him around, and then at the very last moment put up the stop sign. Pedro had seen it as he was heading to second base, so he rounded second here.
You'll see Rick with the windmill, and then nope. But nonetheless, the Pirates get a big opportunity here to not only tie it up but take the lead. Cubbies in, tight on the infield.
Mercer takes low. It's 3-1.
Now they're busy in the Cubs bullpen.
Second error for the Cubs. Second error on Castillo. Walker the tying run, Alvarez the go-ahead run. And Jordy a swing and a miss.
Slider, splitter, something downstairs.
Brian Schlitter is the pitcher warming up for Chicago. Kyle Hendricks watching this lead come close to slipping away. And Jordy a base hit. And the Pirates have tied it. 4-4, an RBI single by Jordy Mercer.
And you wonder if that's going to be it for Edwin Jackson. Joe Madden on the top step. Welcome back, Jordy.
See what Joe Madden does. He told Castillo to go out and talk to Jackson and waste as much time as possible, which he's done, and now he'll come out and make the change. He had to wait until home plate umpire Kerwin Danley went out and got the Cubs catcher, told him to come back, and then Madden, who had every intention of making the change, goes out at the last possible moment. Well, the Pirates have tied it up. 3 runs in the 6th, 2 on and 1 out. Edwin Jackson done. One out, runners at the corners. And Andrew McCutchen, day off today, was standing there and imitating Rick Sofield, I believe, but he was imitating Gregory Polanco earlier when Polanco came in, and the Point Park University tweet watching McCutchen make fun of Polanco earlier. This is what we had showed you live. McCutchen imitating Polanco, rounding the bases. There it is. Up, whoops, there we go. And that's what Kutch was referring to.
Well, let's keep the fun going.
Well, the one thing that Clint Hurdle told me last year about McCutchen on these days off, he said he keeps it loose in the dugout. He said he just is not used to being in the dugout. So sometimes toward the end of the game, you're trying to think of ways to get him out of the dugout and on the field just to get him out of there. But the Pirates trying to arrest McCutchen from time to time. And John Rodriguez wants to talk to Rick Sofield, make sure he has the signs right.
Not a conference.
And who brought the lumber today? That man, John Rodriguez. Brought to you by Yellowwood. Longest home run he's ever hit in the big leagues, 446 feet, the estimated distance.
You got a one-out situation, a man on third, and the third baseman way back. You never know about possibilities of a squeeze. Ryan Schlitter, his numbers coming in, the ERA of 9.84.
Pirates got a pair of runs off on Tuesday night in just 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 hits. He'll throw to first base. That is the go-ahead run. Pedro Alvarez, that's the guy the Pirates need to get in. Pirates getting down toward the bottom of the order, and Andrew McCutchen's put a shin guard on. He's got a bat in his hand. May see him soon. Rodriguez, foul ball, 0-1.
Well, they're trying to speed up the game. That was what, 24, 25 minutes between pitches? The last pitch we saw, and that one. It's all right. Pirates are back even.
Rob Scahill starting to loosen up for the Pirates. Brian Schlitter into the stretch. Inside, 1-1.
Edwin Jackson not able to retire a batter. And the Pirates trying to dig deep into that Cubs bullpen.
Schlitter is the third man used by Joe Madden today. 1-1 to Rodriguez. Sean pops this one up. Rizzo calling for it. And there are 2 down.
Big out for the Cubs.
Schlitter gets a little lazy fly ball. Pop up to Rizzo for the second out. Now Chris Stewart coming in. Stewart's 0 for 2, couple of ground outs. The go-ahead run at third in the bottom of the 6th. 4-4 ball game, 7 hits apiece. Either starter will have a decision today. Decisions will belong to the bullpen. And if Stewart is able to get Pedro around, we'll see Andrew McCutchen. That's inside. Even if he doesn't, maybe he walks. If Stewart doesn't make an out, we'll see McCutchen.
even if he does make an out, we could see Andrew bottom of the 7th.
The 9 spot will lead off. If that were to be the case, Stewart fouls it back. Stewart made his first start on Sunday afternoon against the Brewers. Went 2 for 4 with a pair of RBIs. Told me earlier in the week he felt he was swinging a good bat while rehabbing in AA and AAA. Felt he was ready to go. Francisco Cervelli off today in the meantime. 1-2. 2 on, 2 out. Mercer goes and Stewart strikes out. But the Pirates do pick up 3 runs and tie the game through 6 innings. Changer off the bat of shortstop Jordy Mercer. Walker at third base. The last half inning, Jordy with an RBI single. He's now 1 for 3. That's his 3rd RBI of the season. I made it a 4-4 ball game.
It changed the game from a Cub lead to a tie game.
Along with Steve Blass, I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Innsmukowski is here. 4-4 on the UPMC scoreboard.
He's still on the mound for the Pirates. A very good top of the 6th, 3 up, 3 down with a couple strikeouts. He'll work again here in the top of the 7th. Tie ball game.
Number 9 hitter Jonathan Herrera, the third baseman, shows bunt, takes a strike.
Each team with 4 runs, 7 hits.
Jay Hay on the cut of the grass at third,
just in case.
Herrera, a switch hitter, batting left-handed against the right-hander Lees. And the big hit in the 2nd inning for Chicago, a triple with 2 outs, scoring Castillo and Russell. 1-1. Now it's 1-2.
Very, very late on that swing.
One-two pitch. He's looking over the edge of his glove at Chris Stewart. Now has the sign he wants, the 2-2. Full count, 3-2.
And Lees with just 2 2/3 innings issued a couple walks already, so need a strike right here. Obviously, got it.
Lifted in the air to shallow left center. Rodriguez with the catch, and there's 1 out.
No free passes. Come out of the bullpen, throw strikes. You know, we've heard a lot about these Cubs, all the excitement, the new vibe, the new manager, the youth and everything. We haven't heard a whole lot about the Cubs bullpen. perhaps there's a reason for that.
Kyle Hendricks had a pretty good outing today. He was sitting there with a decision after 5 1/3, positive decision, but now he'll have a no decision.
But through the first 5, gave up just 1 run, the home run.
Goes to Norfio, top of the order. Line drive over the head of Walker for a base hit. 1-out single, comes with a man on in the top of the 7th. Take a look at the Nissan road ahead. After today, it's on the plane out west. Diamondbacks for 3, then to Wrigley Field. Day off in St. Louis, and then the Cardinals and Pirates will meet for the first time this season. Early May, Cincinnati is here. And then the Cardinals again, so 2 straight weekends against St. Louis coming up. Garrett Cole will pitch tomorrow night opposite Josh Colmentor. Cole is 2-0. Denorfit takes off. Stewart's throw down is there to get him. J-Hay with a tag. That is a caught stealing 2-5, by the way. Literally.
Great throw, great tag, and that's the other side of stealing bases. Yeah, it feels good when you're safe, but when you're not, you're running into outs.
And the Cubs have run into 2 outs in the game today. Right on the arm.
There you go, Chris.
Good throw by Stu. Two outs, nobody on for Anthony Rizzo.
Well done. No wasted motions there and had to go downstairs. That's not the easiest pitch to handle and come up and start throwing. You like to get those kind of situations with a pitch about chest high. Good mechanics there.
Low to Rizzo. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rizzo had a double in the 5th and was stranded. He's grounded out twice. Once to J-Hay, who plays him up the middle. 3-2. Bouncer right at Walker.
Really good work from Lees. 2 scoreless, facing 6 batters.
A run, a hit, that's it. 4-4. It is stretch time at PNC Park.
Eaton Park Smiley Cookie, and join everyone watching at home on Root Sports as we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
AE, and Kutch will be performing here momentarily in a 4-4 game, bottom of the 7th. Pirates trying to earn a split of this 4-game series. They dropped the first 2 winners last night. And Andrew McCutchen will pinch hit in the bottom of the 7th, facing Brian Schlitter, the right-hander. And Kutch takes a strike. Needs 4 more hits for 1,000 in his career. And he takes the ball outside. Since the start of the 2013 season, McCutchen leads everybody against the Cubs with 49 hits. Leading all major league players. 320 in that time against Chicago. Fouls it back, and it's 1-2.
Well, Brian Schlitter came in and did a great job for the Cubs, holding the fort in the bottom of the 6th as he faces McCutchen now, but he got Rodriguez to pop out and struck out Stewart. Big job to keep the Cubs where they are, keep the Pirates where they are.
Castillo creeping inside. Pitch missed a spot.
He's not cold. He got the winter coat on his face and head.
Two in the dirt. 3-2. Yeah, there's a lot of that going around baseball these days. Lack of razors in the game, it seems.
Well, I think what they've got to do is ban them from doing that until they're eligible for arbitration. Can't grow a beard until you're eligible.
3-2. And McCutchen down on strikes. McCutchen comes up to pinch hit. He strikes out, and there's 1 down for the Pirates in the bottom of the 7th.
Josh Harrison coming up. Let's see if Josh can get a high fastball again, as he did last inning.
Got to have that today.
Oh, come on. Bring some of that up here. I don't care what it is.
Steamy. Harrison came inches from hitting 1 out in the 6th. Settled for a double and scored a run. It's 1 for 3. The 3rd time in his career he's faced Schlitter. He's 0 for 2 against him. 1 ball, 1 strike to J-Hay.
There's no reason we can't have one of those up in the booth.
Yeah, that'd be good for a nice prop up here today, wouldn't it? Next to the Rivertown Brewing Hall of Fame club out in deep left field. .58-footer. The couch is there this year. Right. That's the new deck.
How good is that?
Great place to watch the game. Down the right field corner, the Budweiser Bowtie Bar has a heater also.
Those
other amenities.
Are those recliners there? What's coming next? The recliners.
I don't know if the couch reclines or not, but
some of them do.
That's a great spot to watch the game. Kind of juts out, facing back. Yeah, there's the couch. Well, you can put your feet up on the table.
Not
because I'm sure you do that at home too.
Yeah,
right?
You're not polite when you do that.
2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes, 1 out, base is empty. And J-Hay hits it to center field. After it, Chris Bryant, he won't get it. It's past him into the wall, and Harrison will stop at second with a 1-out double. His 2nd double in as many at-bats.
And there's a case where I don't know if he's going to get it anyway. That ball was kind of hooking away from Bryant, but didn't have a good start at it as Josh kind of turned it back around. That ball looked like it did have a little hook on it. And, caught Bryant in between. Never could catch up to it.
Jay Hay with his second double, his fourth double of the year. Jay Hay all day. Joe Madden going to the Cub bullpen again. I'll tell you about the new Cubs hurler when we return.
Prepared for the winter gear.
With Steve Blass, I'm Tim Never. Robbie and Spikowski with us as well. 4 runs apiece, 8 hits apiece. Cubs have 2 errors. Big hits for the Cubs. Jonathan Herrera's 2-run triple. Madison Russell an RBI double. Sean Rodriguez solo home run for the Buccos, and Gregory Polanco an RBI double.
We want the left-hander to come into work against Andrew Lambeau. Excuse me, Phil Koch. Saw him earlier in the series. I always tell us Phil Koch because like a lot of batters, they'll come up with a heel that lifts the heel on his toe when he comes to a stretch.
Well, they will walk Corey Hart. And if you're wondering why they would bring a guy to the bullpen for an intentional walk, well, Lambeau, a left-handed hitter. They got Hart, a right-handed hitter, up there, and it doesn't matter who was going to be up there. They got Lambeau out of the game and Hart up, and there was going to be an intentional walk with first base open. Gregory Polanco, who is 2 for 3, will have a chance to drive in the go-ahead run as Hart walks down to first base. Lambeau hit the ball well today. Only had 1 hit to show for it, but he was robbed, as we've told you before and showed you, Kristen Orfia with a tremendous catch in the first. Well, maybe this is the game that gets Lambeau's bat going. Two on, 1 out for Polanco. Phil Koch, former Detroit Tiger. Another pitch. And Gregory will take a strike. Polanco is 0 for 2 against Koch. He is in the hole 0-2 right now.
Good fastball on the outside corner, followed by the off-speed pitch.
So Madden bringing Phil Koch in to try to settle things down for the Cubs. Well, the Pirates with 2 men on, 1 out. 4-4 ball game.
Good discipline there on the sweeping breaking ball. When you're down on the count 0-2, it's hard to lay off that pitch. Coke has struck out 5 in 4 innings. That's exactly what he's looking to do against Polanco. You don't look at Polanco as a double play candidate. You just don't.
Count is even. He's got to be very hard to double up. He's going to have to hit the ball really hard at a fielder to get doubled up.
Yeah, he's going to have to hit a 2-hopper chest high to Castro, who's playing right up and back of second base.
Count full now.
0-2 to 3-2.
Well, Coke has filled up the count to Gregory.
And the pendulum has swayed now. I give the advantage to the hitter at this point.
Walker on deck. He'll bat right-handed against the lefty Coke.
I don't know if you're thinking about hitting corners here. Now, first priority has got to be to throw a strike. That plays into the hand of Gregory Polanco.
And fouls it off. Last year, amazing start, hitting in 11 straight. Then the league adjusted to him. And now it'll be good to see what Gregory can do in terms of being consistent against teams that have an extended scouting report on him. Off-speed pitch, and he got a hold of it, fouled it back.
It's a good job of staying alive in the at-bat. That's a good-looking breaking ball on a 3-2 count.
Tried to come in on.
Oh yeah, that's a miss. He got away with it.
Jeff Branson, Pirates hitting coach, does extensive work with everybody, including Polanco. And Gregory's got kind of a unique swing because of his frame. Long arms, he's got a long reach, gets a lot of extension.
I'm going to guess fastball here. After he tried the curveball, it didn't work.
Payoff pitch from Coke. And Polanco ground ball, base hit. Jay around third. Throw from Denorfia. Too late. Pirates lead. 5-4. RBI base hit for Polanco.
Nice job there by Gregory Polanco. That was a battling at bat, and he wins it. Got the ball upstairs. Well, you can see by the strike zone, right in a hitter's area. And Greg just punched it into left field.
On the 8th pitch of the at-bat, he went against the shift. Found the open spot. And Jay pointing out to Gregory. And now Corey Hart will come out of the ball game, and the Pirates will have a pinch runner, Starling Marte, who was hit in the right hand by a pitch last night. Didn't start today, but his legs are good. So Hart goes out there, gets intentionally walked, and you got the second base now being pinch run for. Walker with an RBI base hit in the 6th. 2 on, 1 out.
Let's keep it going. Doors open.
Walker is 2 for 3 against Phil Coke in prior meetings. Strike 1 to Neal. So the Pirates lead for the first time today.
Climbing all the way back. They were down 4-1.
You get the feeling, Steve, that Pirates and Cubs are going to have a lot of games like this. this year. It's going to be different, I think. You know, the Pirates have really over the last 2 seasons dominated the series. I believe coming into this year they were 23-11 against the Cubs.
Well, the Cubs want to get better. They're heading in the right direction for sure, but I'm thinking that they're going to want to shore up this bullpen. It's one of the vulnerable areas for the Chicago Cubs right now.
0-2's up high.
It's hard to fix everything quickly. Work in progress.
Jason Mott with a ball in his hand in the bullpen for Chicago. 1-2. And Walker pulls it foul. He got it past Herrera, but in foul ground. He doesn't have a matching set of gloves there. Got a baseball glove and the other glove, and it worked for him.
It's tough to keep a grip on the ball right now. How's that?
To the right side, just foul. Good idea.
Trying each side.
Throughout Neal's career with runners on base, he's a .306 hitter. He's done a good job with men on. And 1 for 3 this afternoon. Polanco at first and Marte at second. Nice to pick up some insurance. The way these last couple of games have been. Strike 3 called as Walker took it right around the knees. Third time Walker's gone down on strikes, twice looking.
Tough pitch to do much with. Oof.
Left on left matchup here with Pedro Alvarez facing Phil Koch. Pedro's 1 for 3 against him. Today 0 for 2 in the game with a walk. Takes a strike. And Wellington Castillo needs a meeting.
Might have got crossed up. If that's the case. Handled it well.
Well, another game in the division, Steve, going on right now in Milwaukee in the top of the 7th. Cincinnati and the Brewers tied at 2. Brewers have lost 8 straight. They have begun the season 2-13. And the Mets, who've won 10 straight, as we see Archimedes Caminero start to loosen up, are leading Atlanta 4-3 in the 5th. 0-1 and Pedro fouls it off. Nothing into the count. Two outs, 2 on. Phil Koch against Pedro Alvarez. Bottom of the 7th inning. 1-2. There is Jason Mott, former Cardinal closer and reliever. Two to Pedro.
Wow, right over the head of Jordy Mercer.
Watch out down there.
You don't want to get hit in the chest again, Jordy.
He already got drilled once this week.
Yeah.
2 strike pitch coming from Phil Koch to Pedro Alvarez. And Pedro rips it to the right side. It's off the glove of Rizzo. He recovers, and Pedro is out at first. Hit it hard, but the Cubs able to make a play on it. Pirates get the go-ahead run. After 7, it's a 5-4 Bucco lead.
Phoenix, Arizona. But the scooters are something you're going to find around the clubhouse. And there's Andrew McCutchen and Josh Harrison ride some scooters here. Mark Melanson kind of created the whole thing and ordered these custom scooters for the players to be driven from the clubhouse to their cars. Now, it's a very long walk. Actually, it's just a little bit over halfway around the stadium. They're 36 pounds and collapsible. Some will take them on the road, perhaps, if they have a city where they can explore. But Melanson, you know, the creative genius and the things that he comes up with, it's pretty unique. And I quoted Neil Walker on one thing. He said, have you ever seen how long that walk is from our car to the clubhouse? Well, they do have to walk more than halfway around, as I mentioned once before, but still, hey, it's a cool thing. They collapse a little bit, but come on, guys, use your feet a little more, right?
What do you think of that, Steve?
It's different.
Jorge Soler.
I remember having something like that when I was a kid, but didn't have a motor.
Yeah. Starling Marte is now out in center field. He stayed in the game. Polanco moves over to right field. Rodriguez stays in left. Swinging strike. Archimedes Caminero on the hill.
He's recovered from the blizzard. Appearance number 9.
0-2 to Soler. Right by him.
No contest.
That was the splitter, too.
Didn't fool him with location, but fooled him with speed. It's hard not to start that bat early when a guy's capable of throwing 100 miles an hour. And if you don't get that heat, you're out in front like that.
Bryant takes a strike. He is 0 for 2 with a walk this afternoon. Saw 98-mile-an-hour fastball. No balls and 1 strike to Bryant. Pirates taking the lead in the bottom of the 7th inning. Josh Harrison a double. Gregory Polanco got him in with a base hit. Polanco with a pair of RBIs today and 3 hits. Jay Hay with a pair of hits today. One and one. The count to Bryant. Go high. Good day for Polanco. Strike. So it's 2-2 now to Bryant.
There's that power slider.
Two and two to Chris Bryant. Camanero's pitch. Got him. He has struck out both men he's faced this inning. 2 down, and Castro coming up. And after today, the Pirates head out for a 9-game road trip, starting in Arizona with a series against the Diamondbacks, against the Bucks, and the D-backs tomorrow, immediately following our Pittsburgh Penguins coverage on Root Sports. Bucks and Pucks tomorrow. And for the Pucks, 6 p.m. pregame, special hour-long pregame, as they get set to take on the New York Rangers from Madison Square Garden in Game 5. And the Pirates and the D-backs after that. Big day tomorrow on Root Sports. Big night.
Clint Hurdle liking what he sees from Archimedes Caminero. 2 up, 2 down, 2 strikeouts.
Pitch popped up. Foul ground. And this will be playable for Harrison. He calls off Stewart, makes the catch. And Caminero retires the side in order. On Root Sports.
It's a Friday night, things are all right when the Bucks taking down the opposing side.
Get tuned in to Pittsburgh's music scene as we showcase local artists and tracks throughout every Friday Night Pirates broadcast. Friday Night Rocks tomorrow when the Bucks take on the Diamondbacks on Root Sports. Talked about the Hawkeyes earlier. Got this tweet in from Keen Writer. We mentioned the Hawkeyes, not from Iowa, all Berg boys. Great local music scene. Root Sports will give you Friday Night Rocks every Friday. Chris Conlon out in left field now. As Denorfia is out. And Jason Mott, the new pitcher, will go in the bottom of the 8th facing Jordy Mercer.
Pirates up 1 run. Love to add on a little bit to that.
And Mott delivers. And Jordy will take a strike. Walk and a strikeout for Phil Koch in 2/3 of an inning. Also a hit. Nothing in 2 to Mercer. Mercer came up with a big hit. in the 6th. Mark Melanson getting ready to pitch in the 9th. Pirates leading 5-4. And outside to Jordy. 1-2. That one, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, Jason Mott.
There's some interesting hairdos and facial do's.
I was going to say, if you say, who does your hair, it'll be an interesting conversation with him.
Variety of styles being featured. Yes, a variety of styles.
It's contagious.
Great to see Jordy Mercer come back and get that key base hit. Part of the Pirates' comeback.
I thought Cubs pitcher Travis Wood was taking the day off to run our camera. I saw his new facial hair. And Jordy down on strikes. 1 out on the bottom of the 8th. So Mott rings up the strikeout. Sean Rodriguez now. Rodriguez homered in the 2nd. And he has popped out twice since. Once to right, once to first. He was the first man to face Brian Schlitter in the 6th inning. And the Cub right-hander got him to pop up to Rizzo. Strike 1. Balls in the strike to Rodriguez. Stewart next. And in the 9 spot. Pirates bench only has Francisco Cervelli left on it. Cubs have only used 1 man from the bench, Chris Coghlan. And the way their bench is today, very short. They go with 13 pitchers instead of the customary 12, and instead of the customary 5 bench players, they go with 4. And Joe Madden has 3 catchers. But Dexter Fowler, the center fielder, a little sore groin, so he was unavailable today. So that only leaves Ross and Montero on the Cub bench. And Cervelli has a bat in his hands. He'd be the last position player available for the Pirates. Pitcher spot 2 spots away right now. Pitch outside to Rodriguez. Two and two.
You're talking about John Lester and Ross, the tandem, as his personal catcher. It's been a tough start for John Lester. 0-2 with a very high ERA.
Down on strikes is Rodriguez. He chased the pitch outside. 2 gone on the bottom of the 8th. As Chris Stewart comes up, we look ahead to the top of the 9th inning. Wellington Castillo, Addison Russell, and then the number 8 spot in the order for the Cubs to face Mark Melanson.
Love to see Mark come in and have a tidy 9th inning. A shot of confidence.
Well, Coghlan, the left fielder, will face him 3rd. He came in as part of a double switch, so he enters into the pitcher spot 8th. And Mott up where Denorfia was. Stewart swinging a miss. And Mott's got something going this afternoon.
Well, he's got a lot of zip on the fastball, 94 miles an hour. And it even looks like more.
The 0-2 to Chris Stewart. And that's up high. Well, Jason Mott struck out Mercer, struck out Rodriguez, and has Stewart on the brink. Francisco Cervelli is in the on-deck circle for the Pirates. And the 1-2 from Mott. A chopper Hit toward third, and that's going to get past Herrera. And Stewart is aboard.
A high chop that Herrera came for, and just a whiff.
Yeah, Herrera trying to play the short hop. Right off the plate. This will be a base hit for Stewart.
Never touched it. Somebody with a lot of speed watching the ball, if you could, and while you were running, might have had a chance for two.
Stewart aboard, 2 down. And Cervelli pops up the first pitch. Starlin Castro backpedaling, and Addison Russell calls him off and makes the catch. No runs a hit. We go to the 9th. Mark Melancon trying to save it.
Consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Another tight ball game. Pirates and the Cubs 5-4 Bucks as we go to the top of the 9th inning. And Mark Melancon will try to pick up the save. He will face Wellington Castillo, Addison Russell, and Chris Coghlan.
Mark has 2, but it has been a struggle recently. Been well documented.
The Buccos need to get 3 outs here, and then they'll split the series, so just 3 outs away from a series split with the Cubs. As Melancon will deal with the right-handed hitting Castillo, who is 1 for 3 today with a run scored.
And you can get it done any way you want, but you'd love to start it out with an out of a leadoff man.
First pitch, low ball 1. .250 so far on the season for Castillo. No doubles defense as Harrison hugs the line at third. Melancon's 1-0. In the air to right, off the end of the bat, and Polanco makes the grab.
There's that leadoff man. That is huge. That is huge. Mark Melancon dealing out the outside corner again. Gets a little easy pop out to right field. That's large. That's a perfecta. That is a perfecta.
1 down. Melancon now will face Addison Russell. First major league hit last night. today. He takes a strike.
And Mark would like to get that pitch down a little bit. That was up there in that danger zone, but he gets out in front with it.
One is there. Strike 2 call. He did get it down just a little bit.
A little bit, yep. Far enough outside. Got the edge against the youngster. Like this matchup, especially now that it's 0-2. Oh, so close. And that's a tough take when you're behind in the count 0-2. A lot of umpires thinking that might have been a strike. Umpires sitting in the stands, but they're wrong.
Struck him out. Addison Russell strikes out for the second time of the game, and the Pirates now an out away. Coughlin will come up.
This is a perfecta right on that outside corner. You can't take it. You can't do much with it if you swing at it. Mark Melancon looking like Mark Melancon.
Melancon's pitch to Coughlin. Foul back for strike 1. Coughlin's first at bat. Came in as part of a double switch. And played left field last half inning. 238 hitter. Got a couple of home runs, 3 runs batted in.
So far, a lot of deliveries where Mark Melancon likes to live.
Timeout was granted. Oh, 1 pitch. There's strike 2. Well, Coughlin really wasn't sure.
Mark Melancon throwing one more where he likes to live. This time in on the hands. He's ready to go. Now he's feeling it. Mark Melancon's feeling it.
Trying to get him to chase one. It's 1-2.
Faithful out here on a cool afternoon up on their feet, looking for another strike.
The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball right there. And Mercer throws him out. That's the ball game. The Pirates win it 5-4. And they get a series split with the Cubs.
And that's a big deal for the Pittsburgh Pirates and Mark Melancon coming in and being squeaky clean. 3 up, 3 down as the Pirates come from 3 runs down and pick up the win and tidy up this series in this homestand.
And Rodimus Lees will get the win. He hasn't had a win in the major league since September 14 of 2008. So Melancon saves it for the reliever Lees. Gregory Polanco, big afternoon for him. 3 hits, including a double, 2 runs batted in. And the Buccos get a win on getaway day. It'll be a happy flight out to Arizona. Let's check in now with Rob King and Kent Tekulve.
Tim and Steve, thanks very much. And Teague, the Pirates were so good at home last year. They had a chance to let this series get away from them, and they come back and they win the last 2. 6-4 homestand. Good, solid start here at PNC Park.
Yeah, it is a good, solid start. And, they kind of done what they've done all year long. They dig themselves a little bit of a hole, but they're resilient. Steve and I talked about it in the pregame show. They're resilient. They find a way to bounce back. Today, after 2 days ago, the really tough loss, they come back with 2 good ball games, come from behind today, and put themselves in a position to win the series.
Yeah, Pirates win this game by the score of 5-4. Josh Harrison, a nice game at the top of the order and in the field for the Pirates, is standing by with Robbie Inzbikowski. Robbie?
Yeah, Josh Harrison, what a job by him today. 2 doubles, 2 runs scored. Just another typical day at the office for Josh Harrison. Josh, what does it mean to this team just to come away with a 6-4 homestand and, more importantly, a series split against the Cubs?
Oh, it means a lot. You definitely want to take care of home field advantage. And, it was good to get a split. We got down early today, but we didn't give up.
What kind of confidence do you have in this bullpen after they had a little bit of a rough road a couple games ago to come in and shut the door today?
I mean, it's a lot of confidence. We hand the ball to those guys day in and day out, and we got the confidence every day, and baseball's a funny game.
It certainly is, as you as anyone could explain. Baseball is a funny game. What about the ebbs and flows of a baseball season early on, how they go up and down offensively when you look at guys like Marte and how productive he's been? How do you explain consistency on offense?
It's too early to tell. You just got to stay with your approach and don't get caught up in numbers. You got to stay comfortable up there, and it's so early. You can be hitting high one day, you get out twice, and it goes down. So you don't get tired of the results. We just go up there, have good at-bats 1 through 9.
Josh, we'll go off the beaten path here for a second. You're wearing a camouflage hat and a camouflage jersey on Military Appreciation Day, one of many the Pirates will have here at PNC Park. What does it mean just to wear those colors?
It means a lot. You know, military appreciation, we appreciate everything those guys do for us. And, you know, it feels good to be able to get a win wearing it, too.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Josh Harrison and the Buccos victorious today. They'll take their way out to the desert for the first of 9.
Guys, thanks very much. And a big reason the Pirates win today is the work of Gregory Polanco. Had the home run last night. Teak comes back 3 for 4 today. Stole his 5th base. Scores a run, drives in a couple for the Pirates.
Yeah, and when you look at Polanco, he's really for about the last week or so, week or 10 days, been hitting the ball very well. Getting overshadowed a little bit because Marte's hitting all the home runs, but he's really following right along with him in the last couple of days. He has really stood out and done the things that the Pirates needed him to do. Last night, that line drive home run into right. Today, the double to drive in Harrison, get things going again. He's one of those guys that's in, when he's in the lineup, and he doesn't have to be at the top, the bottom, still in the base, whatever it is, he's a contributor to your ball club, and he contributed in quite a few different ways today.
Yeah, and we saw him throwing out a runner at the plate earlier in the series, so he can help you in a myriad of different ways. Mark Melanson comes on, gets his save for the Pirates. They win 5-4. They complete the 6-4 homestand, improved to 8-8 overall on the young season. Coming up on Pirates Postgame, presented by the Allegheny Health Network. More analysis, critique, highlights, postgame reaction, and more coming up next.